Hello friends, my name is Ramasu. Today we shall discuss about topic the plan scope management. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in project management or you are planning to give exam or PMP in near future. So let's just start. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell option as well so that my videos can reach to you, and also you can follow me on the Facebook page as well. Friend, plan scope management is basically a process in the project scope management knowledge area. This is basically a book issued by PMI, Project Management Institute, and a book issued by PMI known as Project Management Body of Knowledge, PMBOK. Project Management Institute is a non-profit based organization based in USA, which is basically institute which issued the certificate of PMP, and it has a book known as Project Management Body of Knowledge, a PMBOK guide. This book has basically all the standards and best practices for project management. So out of which a one knowledge area called as project scope management, it has a process which is called as plan scope management. Now plan scope management is basically, if you see, there are three terms: plan, scope, management. Scope means that you define that what are the things which we are going to deliver to the customer and what are the things which we are not going to deliver the customer. So that means basically we are defining the boundary of the project. For example, you are implementing e-commerce solution, so you, in the scope, you will mention that we will deliver 5 modules to the customer. If customer says that after signing the scope document, if we say that we need one more module, so we will consider this as a change request. So basically it is to establish a clear understanding of how the project scope will be defined, validated and controlled throughout the project lifecycle. Now the first thing is the define scope management plan. That means it is the process, it is the thing that how the project scope will be managed, controlled and communicated. Okay, that means the activities involved here. That means establish the scope management plan document that outlines how the scope will be defined, developed and monitored, controlled and verified. Who are the key stakeholders in the project, like stakeholder especially from the customer side, and the rules in the scope management process. Define the procedures for handling changes to the project scope. Specify how the scope baseline will be developed and documented. Next is the collect requirements. Collect requirement means gather and document the requirements of the project stakeholders. Activities involve identify and engage stakeholders to understand their needs, expectations and requirements. Use various techniques like interviews, surveys, brainstorming, focus groups, etc. to collect and document requirements. Document the requirements in a way that is clear, complete and unambiguous. Next is the define scope. Define scope means, friend, that define the boundaries of the project. Define the detailed project scope statement. You think of this as a Word document which has a clear and concise description of the project deliverables, acceptance criteria, constraints and assumptions, and acceptance criteria. That means, for example, if you are implementing e-commerce solution, so you will define that it has a website for e-commerce, it has a mobile application in Android and iOS for e-commerce. Acceptance criteria means that what are the criteria on which you will accept the deliverable. Okay, constraints means the limitations like time, cost, budget, etc. Assumptions means the things that you are assuming. Okay, so these are the things. Then review and analyze the collected requirements. Whatever the requirements, like you sit with the customer, collect the requirements, then you decompose the high level project scope into smaller components. For example, if we talk about the e-commerce solution, so that means you will do the requirement analysis, then you do the planning, then development, then testing and then production deployment. So in that way basically you decompose the project. Detailed scope statement will be created here that can serve as a reference throughout the project. Then create work breakdown structure, WBS. Basically break the project scope into smaller, more manageable work packages. Okay, that means for example, it is called as the work breakdown structure, in which decompose the project scope into smaller, more manageable components. It is the approach of the divide and rule approach. Okay, obviously if we say that, for example, we have to do this project, so it's a very open statement. Now what actually we have to do, and we have to decompose the project to that level at which we can analyze it, at which we can estimate it. Organize the component into hierarchical structure known as work breakdown structure. Assign unique identifier to each work package for tracking and reference. Basically, the concept here is that, for example, we have to create a project management plan. So how much time is required to for creating a project management plan? We have to create the scope documents. How much time is required? We have to create the functional specification. So how much time is required? In how many days we will complete it? So in that way, basically, we divide the work into smaller chunks so that we can analyze it and we can plan it, and do development is also required. Next is the validate scope. Validate scope means that whatever the things are defined in the scope document, we have to make sure that we have to make sure that the acceptance of the completed project deliverable by the stakeholders as per the scope document. So in that process, basically, we establish the criteria for validating deliverables, conduct inspections, reviews, and walkthroughs to ensure that deliverables meet the specific acceptance criteria. And once the it has been accepted, then we must need a formal acceptance or sign off from the stakeholder. Normally we make a Word document, a PDF document, in which at which we mention the deliverables, the things which have been delivered to the customer, and then we get the proper written sign off from the customer. Then control scope means monitor and control the changes to the project scope. For example, if things are not mentioned, if things are not going as per the scope, then we have to mention it that it's a change request clearly to the customer. Then basically in this process, we establish a change control system to document, track, and manage changes to the project scope, review and evaluate change requests, communicate approved changes to the stakeholders, update project documentation including scope baseline to reflect approved changes. Basically, scope baseline means that, for example, you have made a scope document in which 5 modules were mentioned. Now customer says that he need one more module, so we will consider this as a change request, and for that additional module we will make a change request, and that change request must have to be approved from the authorized section. So friend, plan scope management involve defining how project scope will be managed, collecting and documenting the requirements, defining project scope, creating work breakdown structure, and establishing processes for validating and controlling scope throughout the project lifecycle. It lays the foundation for effective scope management, which is crucial for project success. So friend, thank you, thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please share it with the friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for watching.